druids were also great mathematicians and astronomers, but the thorn symbol is actually a constellation of stars that appears from time to time on Halloween night. Whenever it appears, he appears. I've traced it back to 1963 when Michael murdered his sister Judith. And the next time was in 1978. Michael escapes from Smith's Grove. It happened a decade later, and the year after that, he kills again. Now Jamie says Michael is back, and for the first time in 6 years, Thorn reappears. Coincidence?
Oh. I don't have any alcohol neither. Hey guys, welcome to my Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers movie review. And honestly, I really don't want to spend any time talking about this movie. This is going to be a bit of a different review. This is going to be kind of more of a rant than a review. As you guys can already guess, this movie is bad. And I mean really, really bad. Both versions. It actually really doesn't matter which version of this you watch. They are both awful. Absolutely awful. The only one kind of positive I can say is the producer's cut. Oh God, I know I'm saying this with a pinch of salt. Kind of makes a bit more sense than the theatrical cut, but they're both terrible, like absolutely terrible. Normally I will start off with like what the plot of the movie is. I'm just really not going to bother because the movie is a mess. Like, I can't believe just how incoherent and bad this movie is. It's all over the place. It doesn't stick to landing on anything. There's so many things left unanswered. There's some weird choices in both versions of this movie that it hurts my head to think that people thought this was a good idea and let's go with that. I think the problem, basically, when it comes down to Halloween 6 is there was just too many cooks in the kitchen for this thing, but they all wanted a different dish. Like, the director saw this a different way, the producer saw this a different way, the studio saw this a different way, and it's just a mess of a movie. The theatrical version and the producer's version is just a mess. Okay, normally I start off with a positive, so I can kind of think of a couple that I'll just throw out. And I will say this about Halloween 6, and that's Michael Myers himself. I like the look of Michael Myers in this movie. I think the mask looks great. It's been the best version of the mask we've had since the first movie, in my opinion. I like the look of him. He's very intimidating in this movie. And particularly in the theatrical version, he is brutal. I mean, there's some decent kills in the theatrical version. I mean, the head exploding one was just like genius. But in the producer's cut, the kills are like dialed down quite a lot. But Michael Myers is still pretty intimidating, even in that version of the cut. So Michael Myers himself, I'm actually quite happy with in Halloween 6. And it's a bit bittersweet as well. It's like Donald Pleasance. as Dr. Loomis. I mean, we don't get to see a lot of him because obviously the guy was he was quite old. Um, obviously when he was doing this movie, and unfortunately he passed away like not long after this movie as well. So it's a little bit bittersweet. I'm upset that this was like his last movie that he ever got to make. But he is not a problem in this movie before. He still gives it all. He still gives a good performance. And I like that we don't get crazy Loomis in this movie. He feels like more Loomis from kind of like earlier movies than when he was just like batshit crazy Loomis in Halloween 5. So there is that. So I'm happy with that. Like I said, I've already touched onto this, guys, but diving into my negatives, I mean, this film is just so bad. And I think one of the... Oh, God. It's just awful. It's so awful. I really wish I had some alcohol now. So bad. It's the whole... Okay, so 4, 5, and 6 is kind of known as the Fawn trilogy, apparently. So in like Halloween 5, if you would have noticed, like Michael Myers had a tattoo of the fawn symbol here. And then they introduced like a man in black that you'd see occasionally in Halloween 5, all in black hat with the boots walking around. Now, apparently they had no real idea what the hell they were doing with that. They just threw it in. And then another writer, another filmmaker would have to pick up the baton for Halloween 6 and decide what they would do with that. In a weird sort of way, I wish they just kind of ditched it, to be honest with you, because what they did with Halloween 6, and I'm going to kind of cut them a little bit of slack because they decided to take it on, and fair enough, and they decided to try and do something different. Whereas I can appreciate that because when you get into a 6th entry of a series, it's easy just to rinse and repeat, and just stick with that. But they tried to do something different. So fair play and fair enough. But my God, does it not fucking stick to that. It's so dumb and so stupid. Like, they tried to explain a lot about Michael Myers and why he does what he does and why he wants to kill his like bloodline and why he wanted to like kill his sister and his niece and everything. And they try and like say like he's part of a cult and the cult control him, but then the man in black. So fucking shite. As I'm going on, so there's this lad called Danny, young kid in this movie as well, who can see the man in black, and the man in black keeps calling to him, but it's like in Danny's head, like visions in Danny's head. So it's telling him to kill. So I'm assuming that would have happened to young Michael Myers when he was a kid. He would have saw the man in black, and the man in black would have told him to kill his family, hence why he killed his sister. It takes so much away from the character of Michael Myers himself. Like, when you try to explain everything, it makes him just less... Like, you don't have to explain everything. The fact that he's just pure evil is enough. We don't need to know he's part of a cult. We don't need, like, oh my God. And also, I've got to touch on this. Paul Rudd is in this movie. He plays Tommy Doyle. And I believe this is Paul Rudd's first movie. He is not good in this, like, at all. He is not the Paul Rudd we now know and love. I love Paul Rudd. I'm a big fan of Paul Rudd. I am not slagging the man off in any sort of way, but my God, is he terrible in this movie for me. His performance is bad, and I think he would probably agree, to be honest with you. But you can't really put a lot of blame on him for this because the movie is just a mess. It really is a mess. Both versions are a mess. It really doesn't matter what version you watch of this. Oh, I am done talking about Halloween 6. I am done. This was hard to get through. This was a slog to get through. Man, I did not like Halloween 5. I still don't like Halloween 5. But my God, do I have a little bit more of appreciation for Halloween 5 than this? This was fucking awful. Oh my God. Ooh. No wonder when it got to Halloween H2O, they just scrapped all of this shit and just went in a different direction. Like, I do not blame them. Guys, if you're going through the Halloween series for the first time, even though I don't like Halloween 5, I would still recommend you check Halloween 5 out and see if you like it for yourself. But honestly, I would say this, you could easily skip Halloween 6, the theatrical cut and the producer's cut. Skip it. Don't bother. Don't waste your time. It's over an hour and a half long. You could be doing something else far more productive in your life than to sit down and watch this absolute mess of a movie. Do not bother. Just don't bother. This is a 0 out of 5, guys. Oh, God. Oh. So, guys, thank you for joining me for this review. I know it wasn't much of one, but I am done. I'm done. I'm done talking about Halloween 6. I am done. So, guys, what do you think of Halloween 6? I'll tell you what, do you actually like it? If you do, please leave a comment below telling me why. I would love to know. But, guys, it is always a pleasure hearing from you. And, as always, please, take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you again real soon. Take care, guys. Goodbye now.